Welcome back, everybody. Andrew, how you doing?
Hey, Commander Fleek, how are you, sir?
So tomorrow is 9/11, so I just got a quick 9/11 story for you. But I got to start scheduling these podcasts right. So this one should have been recorded 2 weeks ago, so it actually comes out for 9/11. So you're not going to hear these stories for another 2 weeks because we post every other Monday. Mm-hmm. So my bad on that. In 2 weeks, you're going to hear a good 9/11 story. So the summer of 2001, I had a bright idea of moving to South Florida. My wife and I, our 3 young children, we moved to Cape Coral.
Cape Coral?
Yes.
Where's that?
That's in West Florida.
Just outside of Fort Myers.
Guess where I was?
Cape Coral.
Naples.
Naples.
Yes, sir.
I've been to Naples.
Naples, Italy, or Naples, Florida?
Oh, I'm sorry. Naples, Italy.
Okay, good to go.
Yeah, so we're down there, and I owned a house in Dearborn, Michigan. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Dearborn, Michigan has the highest residence of Muslims in the world outside of the Middle East. So all my neighbors, Muslim, like the whole town's Muslim. You drive down main streets in Dearborn, Michigan, all the signs are in Arabic. My kids get notes home from school. It's in Arabic, literally like a huge Arabic population. So my wife and I, we hire this real estate agent. We're like, hey, we're going to move to Florida. Can you take care of our house, sell it, and then we won't be here. She's like, yeah, I got you. Go ahead and leave. So I'm literally working at Sony in Fort Myers. I'm also working at JCPenney on the weekend. I'm working 2 jobs so my wife can stay home with the 3 young kids. At the time, my son was only 1 year old. I'm driving to work one day. I'm listening to Howard Stern, and he's like, oh my God.
He's a radio person. Oh, yeah.
I know who he is.
Airplane just flew into the World Trade Center. And my first thought is it's a little Cessna or something, like just lost his bearings. And I was like, wow, man, like how you hit a freaking skyscraper? That's crazy. I drive to work. I get in the lobby, and everybody's, it's Sony, so there's big TVs everywhere, and people are standing in the lobby watching this, and it's live. And I see the one tower, and it's smoldering, smoke billowing on it. I was like, man, that ain't no little Cessna. Come to find out, airliner flew into the damn building. While I'm standing there watching this, they cut over the live feed. A second plane hits the second tower. And I was like, it took a second to process this. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then they're like, oh, we're literally under attack right now. So I immediately go to the phone, call my wife, said, Brenda, where you at? She said, I just left the apartment with the kids. We're going to do our running around. I was like, but where are you at? She said, I just crossed over the bridge to get into Fort Myers. It's all islands out there, bridges everywhere. I was like, now turn around, go back home. And she's like, for what? I'm like, we are under attack right now. She's like, but we're in Fort Myers, like, it doesn't matter. First thing they're going to do is go after the infrastructure. They're going to start, who knows what's going on? They might start blowing up bridges, and I don't want you away from the house. She turns around, goes back. Then another plane hits. And I just went home, man. I was like, I'm going home with my family. We go home. It was freaking chaos. It was crazy. Fast forward I'd say probably a month. The real estate agent calls me up and says, sorry, man, we're not going to be able to sell your house. You literally have over 200 houses right now for sale in your neighborhood, because everybody was like freaking out. Muslims, we got to get away from the Muslims. So everybody put their house up for sale. So my wife and I, after living in Cape Coral area for 3 months, packed everything we had up again, drove back to Dearborn, Michigan. I didn't have a job at this point to go back to. There was nobody else hiring after the attack. So I literally went back home with 3 young kids to feed, with no job. Lost my ass. The mortgage people were calling me. Hey, we need payment. I almost got kicked out of my own house. It was bad. But I feel thankful because I still had my life and I had my family. There's 3,000 people that cannot say that.
Yep.
So I lost my ass. But being who I am, I picked myself up, rebuilt my life, and I live very comfortably now. There's a lot of people out there that can't say that because of 9/11.
And I also want to piggyback off that, because while you were listening on Howard Stern, I was in Naples, Florida at Sherwin-Williams, mixing paint in the back, listening to that same Howard Stern broadcast.
Yeah, it was unreal, man.
And I tried to go and join. My parents wouldn't let me go. I was, 22 years old. And I waited until 2004 to join the Marine Corps. But I wanted to go in 2001, but I was very dependent upon my parents at that time. And but I totally understand your pain, Commander. Yeah. I'm sorry. And that's a great shout out. But let's get to Master Guns.
Yeah. So today we're sitting here with Master Guns. Like for our civilian friends out there, Master Guns is literally the highest rank that an enlisted person can get to.
Hoorah!
Well, actually, it is, but in the Marine Corps, as you all know,
yes, sir.
Once you reach the rank of gunnery sergeant, then you have the option of going either first sergeant or master sergeant. And then that's just to explain that first sergeant is the command side of the Marine Corps, and the master sergeant, master gunny, is the technical side of the Marine Corps. So, me being smart and didn't want to listen to a whole bunch of kids give me their complaints, I figured I'd make it a small group. So I went the master sergeant, master gunny route. I was more of a technician than I was command side. So just to make sure that everybody understands that.
Hey, it takes a lot to get to E9. Yeah. Hoorah!
Hoorah! Well,
should we sing Master Guns?
No.
I have to ask that every single time.
No. If you want me to sing, I think my wife would say you don't have the voice.
So let's get your introduction, man. Your name is Rey Espinoza. I'm probably gonna butcher your name.
Yeah, let me. My name is Reynaldo R. Espinoza Jr.
Yeah, I never would have got that.
Right.
We're gringos. We can't roll our R's.
That's right. A lot have tried, even my own family.
Nope, can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
First of all, were you drafted or did you join?
I came in the Marine Corps in 1969. There was a draft. The Army had a 2-year draft. The Marine Corps had open contract, a 2-year open contract at the time. So during, I came in at the tail end of Vietnam. Needless to say, for those of you that know what a AA form is, I submitted an AA form to higher headquarters to go to Vietnam, and because they were downsizing, my AA form got denied 3 times. So once a Marine, always a Marine. So I went ahead and joined the Marine Corps. And the two people that inspired me to join the Marine Corps was 2 uncles, which both had been in Vietnam at the time. And the other thing that inspired me was the Marine Corps uniform.
Yeah,
it is gorgeous.
It's all right.
Yeah,
easy, shipmate, easy.
Yeah. The Marine Corps dress blues, so that got me sold. Besides, I went to the Navy recruiter; he wouldn't take me. I went to the Air Force recruiter; he wouldn't take me. And the Marine Corps had a 2-year program, open contract, and what I wanted to do was serve my country, go to Vietnam with my buddies, and then get out and go to college. That never happened. So, as you all know, during that time, promotions were really, really, really good. So I left for boot camp in August of 1969, joined the Marine Corps. I love those yellow footprints, as you all know.
They are nice.
Yes, they are, especially when the drill instructor's yelling
get
at you.
Get on my footprints.
Yeah, get on the yellow footprints, and you get a custom, tailored haircut. And you're scared poopless. So after that, my designation when I went in the Marine Corps was a combat engineer, but because of downsizing and things of that nature, when I got out of boot camp, I got reassigned as a cook That only lasted 11 months. Got stationed in Camp Pendleton, California, 1st FSR. It was the 5th FSR, got redesignated to 1st FSR, 22 area.
What's a FSR for the people listening?
1st FSR is a Force Service Regiment.
Thank you, Master Guns.
Yeah. So was there for from 1970 to 1973. I was there, made it to the rank of sergeant before I left. And as you well know, rank in the Marine Corps is not easy. So re-enlisted in 1971 after my 2 years, picked up sergeant and stayed there for another year. Then got assigned to Okinawa, Japan with the 9th Marine Regiment. There we, as you well know, Marines train like they fight. And trust me, I went into the admin field after that, and going in as an administrator. The first thing you do is you're infantryman first, and then you have your skill set. So I was with the 9th Marines in Okinawa on a company 1 year, standing by to wherever, whatever happened in the Pacific, we were ready to go. So we trained, humped 25 miles a day, 25 miles a weekend, every Friday under Colonel Dallas Walker. I'll never forget that man. Little short guy, but he could march and hump and do whatever he wanted to do because he was the colonel. Left Okinawa in 1974, went to Marine Barracks, Security Forces in Long Beach, California. Our mission there was to provide security for the naval base and the naval shipyard. During that time there, I was there for a couple of years, got promoted to staff sergeant, so I had to leave. During that time, we had refugees from Vietnam coming in. They were being sent to Camp Pendleton, and we had Operation Baby Lift. Our mission was to ensure that every child that came to the United States from Vietnam was assigned to a family and taken to area hospitals if they needed care. That was kind of devastating because sometimes you hold a child that was almost dying, malnutritioned, and getting them on buses or ambulances to get them to where they needed to go. So my responsibility was to provide security for all these children coming in from Vietnam. I left in 1975, went out to, I figured, well, it's time to move on. I made staff sergeant, so my detailer, monitor, whatever you call him in the military, my advisor that sends me to my next duty station decided he wanted me to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Being from the West Coast, being from Arizona, going to Minneapolis was changing climate. Going from hot weather to cold weather froze my butt off for 4.5 years. I was assigned with the military police company there at Fort Snelling, Minneapolis, Minnesota, for 4.5 years. And our mission there was to make sure that we trained the reserve Marines to, during the weekends and 2 weeks active duty. And I had the pleasure to go to Panama to do jungle survival training for 2.5 weeks.
Nice.
It was quite interesting. We were being trained by the Army 7 Special Forces at the time, and it was very, very exciting. I remember the colonel in charge says, "Hey." I was a gunnery sergeant I was a staff sergeant at that time, and he says, "Hey, staff sergeant, you're going to stay in the rear and kind of make sure everybody gets taken care of." I said, "No, sir, I'm not." I said, "I came to Panama to train, and I'm going to train with my fellow Marines." So I did. Jungle survival is quite interesting, and I enjoyed it. I left Minneapolis. Our other mission was to make sure that we were also the CACO. So we made sure that when we lost a brother or a sister, for whatever reason, we were the ones that had to go notify the parents or the wife or whoever it was that, the next of kin. So that was devastating. A lot of good stories about that, but I won't get into them right this time. So then I left Minneapolis, or I called my detailer again, and I asked him, I said, hey, my time's up. Or 3 years into my detail, I had orders to drill instructor school.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, a tragedy happened that I had to cancel that assignment, and got reassigned to. A year later, I got reassigned to the Marine Security Group out in Naples, Italy. So my wife and 2-month-old child, I said, hey, hon, pack it up, we're going. So we spent 3 years in Naples, Italy, and our mission there was to provide security for the Navy base and the NATO headquarters there in Naples.
Man.
I left, we were there, and at the same time we were there that it's when General Dozier, Army General, was kidnapped. So once again, our mission was to provide security for 8 flag officers. At the time, Admiral Crow was the SINC there at the NATO headquarters. Later on, he became Joint Chief of Staff. So left Naples, Italy. So I've had some good experiences. Going back to Marine Barracks, that was Marine Barracks Naples. Long Beach. That was a humanitarian mission that we had, so we had a humanitarian service medal awarded for that. While in Italy, we had another humanitarian mission during an earthquake that happened there in Italy, so we were providing support for that out of the Cappuccino Airport there in Italy, Naples, Italy. From there, called the detailer again after my 3 years, and he says, well, guess what? You have to go back to the fleet. I said, yes, sir. Says, where do you want to go? Well, I want to be close to my family back in Arizona and the West Coast. So I went to, I said, well, send me to 29 Palms. That was my first duty station in the desert. So I had seen the desert before, but assignments at the desert. So I went ahead and got my assignment to 29 Palms, went to the 24th Marine Regiment, or 27th Marine Regiment there in 29 Palms, where I picked up Gunnery Sergeant and got promoted to Gunnery Sergeant. And then from there, I went to 5th Marines, as 5th Battalion, 11th Marines. Actually, it was 5th Battalion, 11th Marines. It was an artillery unit. So I got assigned to them, and once again, we train as we fight. So did a lot of time out in Camp Wilson, as you well know.
Nope.
No, he doesn't.
No, I do know it very well.
Yeah, he knows
I do
it
not
very
like
well.
Camp Wilson at all.
Yeah, he loves Camp Wilson.
Nope. No, I don't. No, I don't, Master Guns. You're totally lying for me right now.
Where's Camp Wilson at?
Camp Wilson from Main side is about 13 clicks out in the middle of nowhere.
There's nothing there, man.
Nothing there.
Nothing.
Nothing but A-frames at that time.
There's Machine Gun Hill, 410 Alpha, 410 is just terrible. It's horrible place.
Yeah, he loved it. Don't let him kid you. All Marines love Camp Wilson.
Oh, thank you, Master Guns.
So we left. So I was assigned to 5th Battalion, 11th Marines. Did my time with the artillery units. So as you can see, my career has taken me. I've been assigned with infantry units. I've been assigned to artillery units. I've been assigned to security units, and I've been assigned to what we call the I&I staff, reserve units. But it's not over yet. I still got more.
Thank God.
So then I left. I left 5th Battalion, 11th Marines. This time I was on my way back to Okinawa. 12 years from the day that I went the first time, I went back to Okinawa. I was assigned to the 3rd Marine Division headquarters out at Camp Courtney, a little bit more civilized than Camp Schwab. So got assigned to 3rd Marine Division and did my year there. I was supposed to be being deployed to Korea, the Philippines, and all that, but my boss says, no, you're not going anywhere. You're staying behind. So I stayed 10 months on the island of Okinawa. I was bored, so I decided to go scuba diving. So I learned how to scuba dive.
Nice.
On the island of Okinawa. Beautiful waters. Once my time was up in Okinawa, once again, I called my detailer and I asked him, I said, hey, now what? He says, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, my family's in 29 Palms. I own a house in 29 Palms. I want to go back to 29 Palms. He says, okay. So I got assigned to the Marine Corps Communications and Electronics School, which is there in 29 Palms. It's the communication school that all Marines go through if you're going to be in the comm field. So I was assigned there for a few years again. Got promoted to Master Sergeant while I was there. So once again, I called my detailer and say, hey, I'm a Master Sergeant now. What are you going to do with me now? He says, well, we're going to send you to, how about Belgium? I said, that sounds good. As you all know, you don't believe anything until it's in writing.
No.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, if your detailer tells you you're going to Belgium, you're probably going to Okinawa,
Alaska.
So until it's in writing, Guam, someplace you really don't want to go. Gitmo, Cuba, or was that Diego Garcia?
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
been there twice.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. Never been there.
It's awesome.
Yeah, if you want to go play with the sharks, you're okay. So anyway, I called the detailer and asked him, hey, now what? My wife is Swedish Norwegian. We've been happily married for 44 years.
Congratulations.
Nice. Congratulations.
43 years. I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
We should be talking to your wife. How she put up with Master Guns for all these years.
She's probably one of the best key volunteers the Marine Corps ever had.
Hey, well, without support of your family, you can't make it through the Marine Corps.
100%.
They're just as important to your career as the Marine Corps is. Without her, I probably would have made it to sergeant, so stayed at sergeant, but never know. So I called the detailer and he says, hey, how about Belgium? I said, well, okay, yeah, because I love Europe. I wanted to go back to Europe. As an enlisted man, just so you understand that one assignment in Europe, maybe, but two is impossible sometimes. It's not, they're rare. It's very rare that you get 2 assignments in Europe. So I waited and I waited and I waited and I got my assignment, got my orders, and I looked up the code and I go, I'm not going to Belgium. I'm going to Norway. So I asked my wife, being that she's Swedish Norwegian, I said, how would you like to go visit your homeland, Norway? She was excited. So we packed up and went and got assigned to the NATO headquarters there in Oslo, Norway.
Nice.
3 years. Everybody kept telling us, man, you're going to freeze your butt off. You're going to freeze your butt off. Well, I hate to inform everybody, but it was colder in Minnesota than it was in Oslo, Norway. That zero, when I was assigned in Minnesota, it was like, oh my God, what did I do to get sent here? It was so cold. But Norway, our mission was, I was at the NATO headquarters. I worked for the G3. And during that time, right about the middle of my tour, Desert Storm broke loose. So myself and, I worked for a Marine Corps general, about 3 Marine Corps generals during my time there. So the one Marine Corps general that I worked for during Desert Storm said, well, time to go into bunker. I'm not going to tell you where the bunker is at, but it's time to go into bunker. So we did. We went in, got on lockdown, started watching the the war unfold, Desert Storm unfold, standing by for our mission. Come to find out that it didn't last very long for those of you that were Desert Storm veterans. Didn't last very long. It was more of an air fight than it was a ground fight. So Desert Storm went by, and I stayed in Norway once again. Missed another war. So my career was really good. I was a master sergeant stationed in Norway, waiting for promotion the promotion board to come out, and got selected for master gunnery sergeant. So called my monitor again, my detailer, and asked him, I said, hey, now what? He says,
Now what?
yeah, now what? He says, well, guess what? You're going to headquarters of the Marine Corps.
Yay!
I said, no, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not. I said, why not? I said, because when I wanted to go to headquarters of the Marine Corps, you wouldn't send me. Now that I'm a master gunny, I don't want to go to headquarters of the Marine Corps.
And master guns, you got to listen to them.
And I said, okay. He says, where do you want to go? I said, well, send me back to 29 Palms.
I was going to say, do not say 29 Palms again.
That's 3 times in your story that you wanted to go back there.
Send me back to 29 Palms.
Oh, God.
Literally, everybody I talk to hates 29 Palms. Like, it's 29 stumps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and there's 2 palm trees. That's it. There's 2 palm trees on the base.
you haven't been on base lately. They put them all up.
Have
there
they?
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I haven't been back since
yeah.
2006, and I was not very impressed.
Yeah. Well, they've got palm trees lined up now as the main gate.
That's beautiful. That's pretty
And I mean, so he says, send me back to 29 Palms. I said, okay. So this time, because I was a master gunnery sergeant selectee, I decided, well, we're going to send you back to the base, to the headquarters there in Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, which is 29 Palms. The matter of fact, it's the largest training base in the Marine Corps. Everybody thinks Camp Pendleton and Camp Lejeune is big. As far as training area, 29 Palms is the largest.
Yeah,
as far as real estate.
I don't even know what the square footage is, but I heard it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, a lot of live fire there. We have a lot of live fire. You name it, it's probably been fired on that base somewhere.
Dude, your ranges are amazing out there in 29 Palms. Not Camp Wilson, the ranges at 29 Palms.
It seems like you don't like the living conditions there.
I think he's scarred by Camp Wilson.
I was scarred. We had a guy get pneumonia in 2005. We had one guy
Get run over by a 5-ton?
No, actually, that happened in 2005.
Oh, okay.
His name is Pereira. He's in our VFW, and he did get run over by a 7-ton. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to tell that story, but he did. We were in Fallujah. He got ran over by a 7-ton. Crazy. Sorry, Master Guns. Go ahead.
No, so one day I got up and, after being there for, a couple years, I said, well, I think it's time to move on and let the young Marines that follow me take over. So I decided to retire. Out of 29 Palms once I gave the Marine Corps my 2 years for promoting me to master gunnery sergeant. But I wasn't going to go very quietly because I love the Marine Corps. I love what it did for me. The Marine Corps was good to us, to me and my family. But I decided to go work for the Marine Corps again for 24 years. So those of you that came out to 29 Palms before you went in country, you probably came across me because I was the one to make sure you had communication, your internet, and everything that relates to communications. So in that, I'm going to close and say that was my Marine Corps career.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a hell of a career, man.
That's amazing.
And to this day, the old saying, once a Marine, always a Marine. And that stands true. I have a lot of Marine friends that have passed away, but I have a lot that are still in the area, and I have friends that I've met around here in the neighborhood that welcome me, and I thank all the veterans in our neighborhood because we're veteran strong.
Definitely.
Band of brothers.
And brothers.
Master Guns lives in my neighborhood. That's how we met. I believe it was in March. I had a veteran meet and greet in my backyard, and he showed up.
How many years of service did we have in your backyard? Over 250.
It was a couple hundred.
Yeah.
My goal was to get 100 years.
We had way more than that.
Yeah, we dwarfed it. It was great. So I just have some questions for you now that you gave us your story. So I just want to point out, I was born in '66, so I don't really know anything about Vietnam. I was born in the middle of it. From what I understand, I don't know who, but
You were born when?
1966.
Okay.
So
I was born in '77.
Oh my God.
If you wanted to know,
Yeah.
I'm a baby at the table right now.
Yeah, young pup.
from what I understand,
pup.
from what I understand, like a certain group of Americans would call Vietnam veterans baby killers, but here you guys are saving babies. So
Being that I went in during that era, and history, they always say history repeats itself. But one of the things about that I remember was that my fellow veterans that served in Vietnam were really not welcome when they came home. And that was across the news. I mean, it's not something new. It's if you go back and look at history, we weren't welcomed very well coming home from Vietnam. And like you said, they called them baby killers and all that. But to the American public, like you said, we had Operation Baby Lift during that, after that, and we saved a lot of children, so I'll leave it at that.
yeah, it's crazy that you go through these wars and then when you come home, your own people are not welcoming you. To me, that's disgusting.
Well, that was the era, I guess. There's an era for every war. We had the, I came in during Vietnam. We had the Cold War after that, the Desert Storm, and then of course, followed on by
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Iraq and Afghanistan. So,
yeah, I served during the Cold War mostly. My commander in chief was Ronald Reagan. I love saying that because I just love that guy.
He's the best president ever.
So, my best Cold War story is we were down operating. I was on an aircraft carrier, USS Carl Vinson, and we were on Westpac, which is 6-7 month cruise, and we had just left Perth, Australia, which, believe it or not, Uncle Sam gave us 10 days down there. It was Christmas time, so we had 10 days at Perth, Australia, and I didn't have any duty days that day. So I literally, once we pulled in, I was gone for 10 days. I never saw the ship again for 10 days. I went and got a room right on the Indian Ocean, stayed there for 10 days, and then came back to the ship. It was amazing,
Nice,
literally amazing. But we're on our way back home. We're up getting close to the equator, and then so I was a yeoman for the air boss. I was the air boss's yeoman. So all these supplies started showing up on ship, and it was cold weather gear. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? Like, we're on our way back to Alameda, California. What's all this cold weather gear about? Well, they didn't break it to us yet for a couple of weeks. Turns out we weren't going back home to Alameda, California. We were going to the Bering Sea in January.
Nice.
So not only did we, so the Bering Sea, for you people that don't know the globe, is where the deadliest catch is. And this is January.
It's fucking cold.
So President Reagan wanted to prove to the Russians, because everywhere we went, there was a Russian boat behind us. Everywhere we went, a Russian boat. There was either a boat behind us or a Russian bear flying overhead. They followed us our every step. So President Reagan wanted to prove to the Russians that, hey, we're America and we can go wherever the hell we want, when we want. So he sent us up through the Bering Sea. And not only did we just steam up there, we launched and recovered aircraft in the worst weather you've ever seen in your life. The only time I was ever scared when I was in the Navy. It was frightening.
Yeah, we were. Matter of fact, I was on when I was with 9th Marines.
1929 or 39, Master Guns.
I was headquarters 9th Marines.
Okay.
But even then, you know, we were
Walking Dead. Those are my buddies. I love the Walking Dead.
You know, we went aboard the USS Okinawa, so we did a little bit of ship time on that. But of course, we were just doing figure eights in the water, and then we
Did you ever cross the equator?
You a shellback, Master Guns?
No.
We got a log.
Let's
we
go.
got a log right next to us.
I wanted to, trust me, but I can tell you that I've been to a Chiefs mess, a Chiefs
nope.
initiation.
I have not.
Yeah, me neither. We're not allowed.
Yeah,
Not allowed. Can't see that stuff.
I have.
Did you have your own coffee cup on the ship?
Yes.
That's a big deal. That's a
right.
big deal with you Navy people.
Look, I
Yes.
got the Navy. I got the Navy hook. Okay, you can see. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the good old Navy hook.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. I don't know. Can I say this?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I didn't have the Navy belly, but I had the Navy hook.
Oh damn.
Damn, Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
He's calling Chiefs out.
Yeah.
that's
Hear
right.
that, Chiefs? He got you.
Two of my really good friends, Andrew has met them both, Anthony Ortiz and Paul Freeman. They have both made rank of chief. So
Those guys are
there you
great.
go.
Those guys are founding charter members of our post, and yeah, those guys are great.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, I got great respect for the corpsmen.
Love the docks.
Yeah, we met one last night, man.
The Navy corpsmen. I tell you what, they're on our side, by our side at all times, and I've got some great friends that are Navy corpsmen or were Navy corpsmen in the Navy. Matter of fact, Master Chief, a couple Master Chiefs that. Senior Chief and a Master Chief that are real good friends of ours that retired from the Navy. But I remember this corpsman when we were we had gone to Panama, and we take our corpsman with us. So we're in the middle of the jungle, and so back then we didn't have MREs. We have sea rations.
Mm-hmm. Sea rats.
Yeah, sea rats.
Gross.
Best meal ever.
Gross.
Gross. I eat a sea ration before I eat an MRE.
No, Country Captain Chicken. I did that for a month straight, and I hate that stuff.
Fruit cocktails are great. So, tell you a little story about Panama. So we'd gone into during jungle survival. The 7th Special Forces took us under their wing, and so they go in and we sit down in this makeshift theater to have some training. And as you walk in, there's all these little cages, and they got different kinds of little animals in them: possum, snakes, iguanas. All the jungle animals. So we're going by looking at these animals, and getting ready to go out in the jungle, and the 7th Special Forces instructor says, "Hey," he says, "you guys see those cages there?" He said, "When you come back," he says, "that's dinner." I said, "Okay." Well, one of the best tools that the Marine Corps has, weapon, is a K-bar.
Very true.
Marines love their K-bars. So we had a few K-bars. I'm not going to tell you how many or what happened to them. But
they were tactically acquired?
No. But so we get back from being out in the jungle, and they're passing dinner, and on one of the trays was an iguana that'd been cooked in the ground and stuff. Somebody want to ask me what iguana tastes like?
Yeah,
Chicken. Everything tastes like chicken.
I heard
right?
that too. I heard it tastes like
everything
chicken.
tastes like chicken. But I tell you what, man, that iguana was really good. I mean, then we had possum and snake and everything else. So nowadays, when I'm out there, of course, my kids can't eat goat because I put a scar in their mind.
I love goat.
I love goat, but my kids kind of like, no, I'm not going to tell you that story because my daughter would probably come after me. But yes, so we were out there in the jungle, and one of our missions was to, of course, we had our sea rations. So as you all know, when they tell you that you're going to get resupplied, once again, don't believe it. So we were out there for 14 days with our sea rations and whatever we could catch in the jungles. So my corpsman friend says, "Hey," he says, "what are we going to do?" I said, "We're going to start an NCO club here in the jungle." He says, "Okay." Well, I'm one of those guys that, hey, I don't throw anything away when it comes to eating, because I never know where my next meal is going to come from. So I loaded my pack and with every can of sea rations I could find that people were throwing away or putting on the side because they didn't want to carry the weight. So we go into the jungle and getting ready to we don't get resupply when we're supposed to. So, hey, guess what? I've got the stash. So my corpsman says, "Hey," he says, "let's since we're out here in the jungle and the swamps," he says, "let's go find something to eat." So we went out and found some crabs and brought them back to our site and decided, well, how are we going to cook these bad bears? So took our canteen, and made a little fire, boiled some water in our canteens, and guess what we had?
Crabs
in the jungle. But,
well, Mr. Guns, you brought up a really good point, because I know I'm boot to both you guys, but food in the field is continuous. That's what I was always taught. When I remember being on patrol in Ramadi, and I was like 182 pounds, thinnest I'd ever been. And I basically did the same thing you did. I carried a case of MREs, a case of water, about 1,000 rounds of ammo, all in my Alice pack. And I was humping. I was in a really, really good shape. And I just gave out food to everybody if they were hungry, because when you're in the field, you don't know when you're going to eat next. So that's why food is continuous.
So you guys might have had the good uniforms, but guess what? We had mid-rats.
Yeah, okay. Nope, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Mid-rats are amazing. The hamburgers and french fries at 12 o'clock at night are amazing.
Yeah, even if they're cold.
Even if they're cold.
Exactly. Even if they're cold. Yeah, brown baggies, I love those brown bags.
Oh, God, I haven't had a brown bag in years.
Yes, brown bag. Yeah, I tell you what, man, it's the Marine Corps, not just the Marine Corps, but, the camaraderie between the various forces, depending on where we're at, it's there. We're brothers and sisters, and we make sure that we take care of each other. Yep. We got each other's back, regardless of where we're at, whether we're abroad, at home, or whatever the case may be. We're always taking care of each other.
Yes, 100%.
And we give each other shit, like the Army, Navy, Space Force, whatever. But we're all brothers. And you're right about the camaraderie. And I know I say in this podcast, I said that I hated a lot of stuff. You know what? I did. But you know what? I also loved it too. I hated the suck, but you know what?
Yeah.
The suck was great.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade it back for anything. My Marine, I only did 4 years. I didn't do 26 like you, Master Guns. How long were you in, Commander?
6, but I was a 3x6. I did 3 years active, 3 years reserve, active reserve. So,
I only did 4, and I got out, did 3 deployments, but I wouldn't change that for anything. I would, if I had the choice, I would go back and I would re-enlist. But I know for a fact.
If I had to do life over 100 times, 100 times I would join the Navy. Every single time.
Not me. No, Marine Corps, all the way. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, Navy.
Yeah, well, we all got our things, man. I love the Navy. I absolutely love the Navy. So I would 100 times. I would join the Navy 100 times.
In the Navy.
Well, I can honestly say that, for the exception of one military branch, that we've covered in our family, we've covered
Air Force.
We've covered every branch of service.
Coast Guard.
Yeah, the Coast Guard.
Space Force.
And the Space Force. Okay, 2 branches of service. Okay. No, but my son was an Army vet. Did 3 tours in Iraq. My brother-in-law. I got 2 brother-in-laws. They were both Air Force. My oldest son, he was in the Air Force. You know, we have family members that were in the Navy or are in the Navy. Got a nephew that's a B-52 pilot.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
In the Air Force, you know, so Air Force, Navy, Air Force.
B-52.
Yeah, you know, I don't know much about the. You know, I was a ground pounder. You know, I was in
Hoorah.
in the wing. You know, so
Swinging with the wing.
Yeah. But you know, they're like day and night. You know, the wing and the ground. You know,
They don't like each other.
Yeah,
we used to
they're
fight
a different animal.
We used to fight the wing all the time.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
How many children do you have?
I have a son and a daughter, and one older son that from my first marriage that we adopted after she passed away. But I got him. He's my oldest son, and then my daughter, and then my young son. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 grandchildren. So,
Congratulations, Master Guns.
So let me ask you: when you do all this moving, say you're 29 stumps, and they're going to move you to Europe. How's that logistically? Does the Marine Corps take care of your family also? Or?
Oh yeah. Both of my tours to Europe were company tours. You know, I mean, you can have a company tours in Okinawa also, but anytime that you have an company tour with your family, the military picks up the tab. You know, But what do you do with all your stuff? You have to put it in storage. You don't take everything with you, do you? It depends on where you're going. Europe, you took everything with you. Got my vehicle shipped to Europe. Okinawa, you got you can only take so much, and the rest of it has to go into storage. So depending on where your assignment's at,
I gotcha.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to me.
Yeah, that's a great story, Master Guns.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud to I'm proud to say that we have within our family there's a lot of support for the military, and actually my grandson, my oldest grandson, he's thinking of going in the Navy next year.
Hell yeah.
Let's
do it.
Please.
But
bring him over. I'll talk to him.
Yeah, he will. He will.
I think he's got his mind set that he's going to go in the Navy. So, it's
Good for him.
the one thing about it was that, I always told my brother-in-laws and my kids and everything else, you go where you want to go. Whoever gives you the best deal. And,
Well, then don't go to never mind.
No, you better not say it.
Nope, I'm not going to say it. Not going to say it. Not going to say it.
Well, it sounds to me like the Marine Corps lies to you a lot.
They do, but I lie to them too. So, and I was going to say this story, but you know what? I'm going to say it. All right.
Sure.
Okay, when I was going in, they lied. They're like, yeah, why don't you go be infantry? It's like camping with guns. I'm like, okay. Well, I lied to them too about all the stuff I did in college before I joined the Marine Corps. And I'm not going to really go into it, but I lied a lot about what I had done and what stuff I had done in my fraternity. So thank you to my staff sergeant recruiter in Naples, Florida. Thank you very much for lying to me, but you did give me the best life that I've ever had. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword.
For sure.
well, you find me a recruiter that doesn't lie,
Yeah,
I'll
they
buy you
all
a beer.
lie. Every single recruiter will lie to you.
Yeah, if I'm a recruiter that doesn't lie, and I'll buy you a beer.
Yeah. Well, they got to get their numbers, man.
Wait, Master Guns, you were on recruiting duty too, right?
No.
No recruiting duty?
No.
No drill instructor?
Nope.
So
Most of my tours were all Marine Security Forces and independent. What we call in the Marine Corps is independent duty.
okay. So no B billets, no.
Well, the security forces were kind of like B billets.
Okay.
NATO headquarters was a B billet.
Okay.
So I know that in the Marine Corps, everybody thinks about 3 B billets, which is drill instructor, recruiting, and
MSG, right?
MSG.
Yeah.
MSG duty, but we were independent.
But you were MSG duty.
No, I was security forces, so it's
okay.
different. Now they call it security force. I think that's what they call it, security forces. Back in the day, we called it Marine barracks.
Okay.
So the one and only good thing about social media here is you get to catch up with people that you've served with 30, 40 years ago. Do you ever get messages on Facebook or anything from guys that you served with years and years and years ago?
Yeah, I do, actually. Matter of fact, I was looking in this tour to Washington, D.C. If you're listening, Andy, give me a call.
Nice.
But my best man at my wedding is Andy Hernandez. Apparently, he's left Virginia and went back to Minnesota. But he was. We kept in contact for many years. I have a friend of mine that we both served in Long Beach, California. Both sergeants in Long Beach. Tom Hart. Unfortunately, he lost his life to COVID a few years back.
Sorry.
A couple of years, last year or whenever it was. But, I have a young man, Sergeant Koss, used to be one of my Marines, and he reached out to me here. So we've been trying to get together. He's in Wisconsin right now, but we're hopefully next month we'll be able to meet up. But yes, to answer your question, I do come across some old friends. It's funny because after I retired, I went to go work for the communications directorate, or G6 as we call it in the Marine Corps. And I walked in, and I see this guy, and I said, "God, man!" I said, "This guy looks familiar." And I said, "Hey," I said, "O'Brien." He was one of my lance corporals in Naples, Italy, when I was stationed in Naples, Italy, and O'Brien just happened to be there. Married an Italian girl, and had his family and stuff. He now lives in Arizona, outside of Tucson, out there by Fort Huachuca. But yes, I do come across some old friends from time to time.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there for you. Always.
Yeah, it's the camaraderie is just it's amazing, man. It's amazing. I love running into some shipmates.
Well, and I mean, even here in Murfreesboro, or you don't have to go to the VA to, meet, see, fellow or Marines and other service members, but you go to Home Depot and you got a Marine Corps hat on, and you go, "Hey, Semper Fi." They look at you like Semper Fi, and back at you.
Hoorah.
But
last weekend I was downtown with my wife. We were doing a little honky-tonkin' bar crawl, right? And there's a Marine with his girlfriend or wife, I don't know, at the other end of the bar. So I was watching them, right? I was, the music's loud, so I'm just waiting for my opportunity. And him and his girl start walking towards me. And obviously, I always wear a Navy shirt.
You always wear Navy stuff, always.
So as he was walking by me, I just pointed at my my crest. And he looks at me, he shakes his head, and he goes, "Semper Fi, man." And we just kind of just kept going.
That's cool.
I always give a shout out if I see somebody wearing their swag.
Yeah, we do the same thing with our Marine Corps. Sometimes we go out of the way, and it's there's a few veterans in the neighborhood here. There are Marines. I've met a couple of them. Actually, my neighbor across the street, Casey, he's a former Marine. He was stationed at Camp Lejeune. But
really,
yeah,
maybe we can go talk to him sometime.
Yeah, matter of fact, he's an EMT. I think he's a name EMT. Casey. Yeah. Sorry, Casey. Forgot your last name. But he's my neighbor across the street. And then there's a new Marine Corps family just moved in on New Aldridge there. I saw the flag the other day. So, I go around the neighborhood and I look for Marine Corps flags.
So do I.
He's recruiting. That's what he's doing.
Well, to all my fellow veterans, I just got back from DC, but I'm probably going to do a shout out to all of them that I need 12 bottles of beer one from each. Whoever wants to donate to my cause, in remembering those 13 that lost their lives in Afghanistan. I'm going to do a little memorial in my front yard. Some of you already seen. I have a flag up there, but I'm going to do a little memorial. So to my fellow veterans, if you want to donate a beer, I need 12 of them.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Don't worry, I got the margarita for the 13th person.
I don't drink them anymore, but I'll definitely donate. Oh, and by the way, if you guys aren't busy, there's a EMT 9/11 remembrance ceremony tomorrow night in Manchester.
This won't get posted for 2 weeks, though.
Huh?
This won't go up for 2 weeks.
No, I know. Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. But yeah, well, it's happening tomorrow, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the next
You'll be 2 weeks late if you show up.
Vet Fest is coming up. There are a whole bunch of stuff coming up.
There's a lot of. You're a VA commander, right? At Murfreesboro?
VFW. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I need to come out and visit the VFW.
I'm the state chaplain adjutant, and I just got promoted or appointed to chief of staff for District 5. So
God forgive. Oh gosh.
Hey, that's chaplain 2 years in a row.
Oh, okay.
So I'm an ordained minister too, Master Guns. So easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He called me sir. Just kidding, Master Guns.
You also dive, so if you ever want to get back in
yeah.
diving.
Oh yeah, look at this, Master Guns.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm going for my dive master. Hopefully in November.
I haven't been diving. I still got my PADI certification. It's good for life anyway. But I was in Arizona and trying to. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I got this fear of water, diving underwater. I mean, not taking a shower and stuff, but going underwater with even with my scuba gear. I just kind of like, I don't know. I'd love to do it again.
Well, I have an opportunity for you. 21 miles away from here, Master Guns, is Martha's Quarry. I go there all the time. Would love to dive with you. Actually, we just dove with the commander-in-chief of the VFW, Fritz Mihelchek. We did 2 dives, each an hour. First dive was an hour. Second dive was 57 minutes. Longest time I'd ever been underwater, but I got my breathing down pretty good and hopefully become an instructor by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think I would have to start in the swimming pool,
That's okay. That's okay. We use the Gallatin.
Or the bathtub.
We use the Gallatin pool up there. We can get you a refresher, no problem, and it's free of charge. I'll cover your refresher course costs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So speaking again to the neighborhood, I have a couple. I believe they're both Marines. The guy across the street over in the little cul-de-sac right here. I believe his name's Steve. He's a Marine. So I'm going to reach out to him, get him on the podcast too, if he will have us. My next door neighbor, he's a Vietnam veteran, but he doesn't like to talk about it, so I leave him alone. But I would love to get these guys down to the VFW.
Well, we got Master Chief coming on deck on the 25th, so...
Yes. Hey, I just want to say Sergeant Gunny Sabins, but you have been...
Gunnery Sergeant Sabins.
Yeah, you have just been... outranked. You were our highest ranking individual, but you just got outranked, buddy.
Sorry, bud. But what's the time?
We're exactly at 1 hour, man.
We are. Wow, that's awesome.
We try to keep it at an hour, so I appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for coming out, Master Guns.
Master Guns.
Now I can go home and eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Now you can go eat breakfast. I need some more coffee.
Thank you for your service, man.
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
well,
and your children and your wife's service.
Yeah, thank you guys too. I mean, it's we're all together now as one, regardless of whether you're in the Navy, Air Force, Army, Marine Corps. We're all one, So.
And Commander Fleek's been trying to do this for about 2 years, and all he wants to do is save the stories for time.
Yeah, I love these stories. It's what I do.
But
every time I go to American Legion VFW, I always find a guy sitting at the bar and go talk to him, get his story. I was like, man, I gotta get this guy's story.
Got to get it on tape.
Yeah, it's
all right, man.
But we love you, sir, and we love the Marine Corps and the Navy.
If you ever need anything, give us a holler and
sir.
where we're at.
Yeah, we'll get together and have a beer again, somewhere.
Absolutely. All right, man.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Goodbye.